Hello, everybody. This is hello, everybody. This is Coach Nico. I am the director for District Keepers here in New Jersey, and just wanted to quickly jump on here and make a quick video about weekly goalkeeping training. Today is March 30th. No, what is it? I don't even know what date it is. Hold on. Where's my phone? Wow. Brain freeze. Calendar. What is the date today? 29th. Sorry, guys. 29th. Okay, so March 29th, and basically, um, some some teams, some goalkeepers will be playing this weekend throughout the country before Easter. During Easter, I'm gonna be at the Jefferson Cup in Virginia, starting Thursday. Oh, should I say Friday games? Friday, Saturday, and Easter Sunday. For those ones that are not going to be playing this weekend, basically you are going to be playing next weekend. Um, don't know where you guys live in which part of the country, but if you are anywhere close to the East Coast, like New Jersey, the weather has been horrible, and teams are scrambling to get into shape and be prepared to play outdoors. Furthermore, as a goalkeeper, even bigger disadvantage if you're not training indoors, if you haven't had any training during the winter, it's going to be difficult to get into game shape as far as technique, as far as mentality. Be prepared for those slushy fields. Be prepared for those muddy fields. Again, heavy. After all the snow we had here in the East Coast, after all the bad weather, the fields are going to be very heavy, very sloppy. So how does a goalkeeper going to deal with that? So here's a couple tips. Well, before I actually give you some of the tips, um, let me just share a quick story. So the title of this conversation with you guys is Why Weekly Goalkeeper Training. Although goalkeeping training, specific goalkeeping training, that means that you go into an environment with a goalkeeper coach and you only train with other goalkeepers. There is no field players. You basically are working on techniques, on different elements of goalkeeper game, only with goalkeepers, no field players. Um, it has gotten a lot better in the grassroots environment. More coaches, especially volunteer parent coaches, are beginning to realize the importance of that. But we're still not there. We're still not there. Some goalkeepers are basically coming in and they're thinking they're going to get a quick fix. It's not. I don't think it's the goalkeepers themselves per se, especially at the younger ages. I think it's just the parents and the coaches. They sign up for like 3 training sessions, 6, 8, even 10. You're not going to become a goalkeeper in such a short period of time. You're not going to learn to play an instrument in 3 sessions, in 6 or 10 sessions. You're not going to learn how to, speak a new language in 10 sessions. So I don't know why people think that by joining a quick, 10-week class is the assistant. She doesn't care. She comes in and cleans up. She doesn't care what's going on. Anyway, so it's not fair to expect a goalkeeper to become good at his craft with 10 sessions. And unfortunately, that's something that happens all the time at grassroots with volunteer coaches or parents. Hey, just teach my kid, the fundamentals. Not going to get good in 10 weeks. So weekly training session, in our opinion, should be something that you exercise year round. Okay, you take a break for summer or Christmas or what have you, but I'm talking about a consistent basis. Something that you do year round, just like you do your regular, team training or field training. Okay. However, you hear a lot of parents say, well, I can't make, goalkeeping classes because that's the same time as the team training, and our coach wants our goalkeeper there. And we'll ask, well, do you have a coach that specifically trains your kid, or is it just part of the team? No, just part of the team. They shoot on him or her at the end of practice, and they consider that goalkeeper training, which is nothing further than the truth. Um, if I was a coach who does not have a goalkeeping experience, I would say, hey, listen, little Joe, little Mary, go once a week to this training session and learn as much as you can and develop your craft. And then the other day, you can come and train with the team. Fortunately, not every coaches see that way. So it's gotten better, but not to a degree where it should be. So last night we're having training session. I'm also the head coach of the U17 high level boys team, and we're going to be going to a tournament this weekend. We're going to be at the Jefferson Cup. It's a very competitive tournament with teams all over the country. We're playing a team from Florida. Playing a team from Virginia, and I think one from Maryland. So very good competition. The kids get to play with other teams from across the country. So yesterday we were training on shooting, finishing, different situational uh, activities to finish. Um, and our goalkeepers both were not there because of previous commitments. So we basically used um, I don't want to say assistant coach, one of the parents who's very involved with the team. To be in the goal, more of a target than anything else. We didn't expect him to make any saves. However, he did proceed to try to make saves. So somewhere while the team is doing different activities and um, we had a break, he said, "Wow, I got a new gain appreciation for goalkeepers. And my hands are so sore. My knees are killing me. My groin, everything is. What he was trying to say basically is that um, because he doesn't have the expertise, because he doesn't have the technique, because he doesn't have the movement, he was just throwing his body around expecting to stop the ball. And when he was successful at stopping the ball, because he didn't have the proper technique, his hands became very sore. One of his fingers was hurting. All kinds of injuries related to shooting, which a trained goalkeeper would know how to prevent that. So that's the quick story, basically, because there's a lot of goalkeepers out there that are thrown in the goalkeeper net, even at the older ages, but they don't have the technique, they don't have the movement, they don't know how to get their body behind the ball. They don't know how to shift their legs, their feet. They're very sloppy with their movements from side to side, diagonal crossovers, and without good mobility at your feet, it's very difficult to make the saves that you can make. And by the way, when you look, at some of the goalkeepers that look in the goal, you see them in the goal, they look effortless. They look like they're making no effort. The reason for that is because they've had a lot of training on, especially with footwork and movement and different situations, and that's why they look, they don't they bring any effort in the save. Their technique is very good. So the point I'm trying to make is that comparing, this parent that jumped into the goal with a lot of other goalkeepers that they don't go to any training and their only training is probably, during the team's training, they're just taking the shot, taking shots. That's not training. I hate to tell you this, not training. There's a lot of components that go behind making a save. Just your average goalkeeping, I'm sorry, your average team coach probably doesn't know, or even if he does know, he may not have the time to practice with our keepers. Your average, grassroots team, regardless of the age, you're looking probably at 2 days per week training, maybe for an hour and a half, even if it's 2 hours. Not enough. Not unless Not unless you have 4 or 5 coaches and you happen to have a goalkeeping coach where he can take the goalkeepers on the side and work with them a little bit. Even under that situation, 4 hours a week training is not really enough, but it is what it is. The ideal situation, of course, I would be training, every day, 5 days a week training, 45 minutes to an hour, no more than that, repetitions. Not just for the goalkeepers, but even for the players. You play in any true academy where you're not paying any money. You're in an academy system that uh, will develop your kid for the next level. They train every day. They train every day, and they have games. Usually, have an off day once a week. So 6 out of 7 days, they're doing soccer related stuff. But anyway, so um, having your goalkeeper at a regular year round weekly um, training session would be a fantastic thing for them. Um, and I'm hoping that more and more people will understand what the coaches around the country, the goalkeeping coaches around the country, are trying to preach. It's not that we're trying to get you to spend extra money. It's the fact that your goalkeeper needs it. Now, if you're lucky enough to have somebody that knows about goalkeepers and goalkeeping training and you don't pay, that's great. Utilize that asset and train, every week on a weekly basis, just like you do, with your team. If not, you're gonna have to invest some money. Nobody says that, nobody says you're gonna have to break the bank. There's a lot of, good training outfits that the pricing is extremely, reasonable. Just for keepers, one of us, we're an international goalkeeping company with coaches, trainers, and schools worldwide. Ray Newland, who is the founder and owner out of England, he used to be a goalkeeper for Everton. Uh, Now he has schools and coaches throughout the world. Have a very strong presence in the U.S. And we pride ourselves in actually keeping the prices to a standard where it doesn't break the bank. We give the opportunity to as many kids to train as possible. Uh, Not with just our training, but also our equipment sales, glove sales, and whatnot. His biggest concern is to always make sure that the price is at a fair level. With that being said, you know that would lead me into the next point that I want to talk about, and that is the difference between having a goalkeeping outfit doing goalkeeping training for a specific club versus a outfit that may be doing goalkeeping training on their own side. Okay, so here's the difference. Now, just for keepers does individual trainings. That means that you come into a training session for us, and it's just all goalkeepers. We currently we have one club that we actually go in there, and once a week the kids come and train. Um, but it's different than your average goalkeeping trainer that comes into a club, and I'll tell you why. Most clubs try to keep the prices as cheap as possible, and their analysis behind it, their reasoning behind it, is that they don't want to charge their members a high fee. They want to try to keep their fees as inexpensive as possible, which I understand and I completely support. However, very difficult to get quality at the prices that most clubs are looking to pay their goalkeeping coach. So here's an example. Someone will complain that there is only one trainer, one goalkeeping trainer, for 15, 20 kids at a session that a club provides. And they don't feel that their child is getting the best of training. That's true. 15, 20 goalkeepers for one trainer, it is a lot. And especially if it's a younger age, especially if it's like, anywhere from, you know, 8, 9 year olds, 10, 11, 12 year olds, still a very young age, especially boys are going to, you have to try to manage, the kids to get them focused and also show them, you know, the different things that that particular session the trainer is teaching. So the answer is you can't complain about the amount of kids that are in that training session, when let's say you're only paying $7, $8 a session, and those numbers do exist out there. There are coaches that will do sessions for clubs that if you break it down per kid, it's about $7 to $10 per kid. So it's like everything else, you pay what you get for it, and you get what you pay for. So at $7 to $10 per kid, you're only going to get so much, and you can't complain that there's 15, 20 kids in the class. Your normal session, and again, depending on what part of the country you're in, but let's say in New Jersey, just for keepers, charge $25 to $35 per kid, depending on the situation, depending if it's a college or high school and college, prep session, or if it's a younger session. But we max out between 8 and 10 kids, no more than that. Okay, depending on the age again, and depending on the skill level. Sometimes we may even drop down to 6 kids, depending again, if it's a situation where the goalkeepers are getting ready for a high school or a college level training. And the phone is ringing, so give me a second. Sorry, guys. So again, the money that you spend has to be relevant, and you have to be understanding. Understand that if you're only paying $7, $8, I don't care what kind of training it is. It's not going to be the greatest. Um, Unless again somebody's doing the training because they just want to contribute to the club. There are situations, but for business wise, your average trainer, I mean, you gotta be fair. you know um Most people can't live on that kind of money, and if they do it, they're gonna do it just to get a quick buck. And I doubt that the training is going to be quality training. I'm not saying that it can't happen, because a training company can say, hey, listen, we're going to donate the rest. So we're going to come in there, we're going to bring like 4 or 5 trainers, and we're only going to charge you $5 just to give back to the community or the club or what have you. So it can happen, but let's be honest, your average company that might go in there and charge that inexpensive, you're probably not going to get the best training. I'm not saying that you cannot under no circumstances. I'm just saying that most likely you won't. But if you do your homework, um, most companies should give you a free evaluation or free training. J4K, just for keepers, we'll have anybody. You want to come and try us out? Come in for free. It doesn't cost you anything. Come and train with us. If you like it, terrific. You can discuss weekly classes. If you don't like it, no problem. See you later. Okay. We don't want to have anyone in our classes that doesn't feel that we're doing a good job. We're not looking just to uh, take the money and run. We're looking to make sure that the kid or the goalkeeper develops, and we stand behind it. I mean, in New Jersey, I personally have had an All-American a couple of years ago. Um, some of my students, I also coach at a college, a university, a Widener University. So um, some of the students may look into, college situation where I can possibly help them out. Um, Different situations. So we're not just here just to, hey, come in, give us your money, thank you very much, see you later. We're looking for long-term development. Through the context of Just for Keeper says, by the way, with Ray Newland, um, we have professional scouts and professional clubs. We have, I don't even know what the number is. If you guys go on the Just for Keeper site, they're always updated. There are hundreds of goalkeepers that have had professional contracts throughout the world to play professionally. And again, because of the contacts, these are all the things that people may take into consideration. Do you just want to train weekly and that's it? Great. Do you want something more, like camps and residential and academies, and possibly go to Europe and train, and possibly get a trial or an ID or a look, maybe play a professional situation as a goalkeeper? That possibility exists with just for keepers. Maybe you just want to be a coach. That possibility works for just for keepers. So it's a company that has exit strategies beyond just that weekly training. But the conversation started basically, like I said, to make sure that people understand why weekly trainings. Why is it important? And if you do see the merit of weekly goalkeeping trainings. Be understanding that you know not every class is the same, not every price point is the same, and you have to do your due diligence. You have to make sure that the coach is a good fit for your goalkeeper. Oh, Coach Mike, he's coached some top level goalkeepers and he's the best and blah 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 blah. Yeah, but little Joe is not really feeling the chemistry with Coach Mike. He might be too intense. He might be too laid back. He might be this. He might be that. But Coach George, he's a Goose level goalkeeping coach, and he just coached a local club. He's an ex goalkeeper, and he has good chemistry with your kid. That might be a good fit. So these are all the things that you need to take into consideration. But once again, having a weekly goalkeeper regimented training schedule, I think that not a thing I know it will benefit any goalkeeper. Goalkeeping is the most difficult position on the field. In the old days, especially in the U.S., we would just throw the least talented player into the goal. He or she are too slow. He or she do not have good foot skills. He or she are not physical enough throwing a goal. Not anymore. Not anymore. People are beginning to realize that you have to have your best player, if not your best player, one of your best players have to be the goalkeeper. They have to be good technically with their feet. They have to be good technically with their hands. They have to be physical. They have to be mentally prepared to guide the defense and the rest of the team. They see the entire field. They see the point of attack. They see the defending. They're the first to make the save, and after first to make to begin or initiate the attack, and the last person to defend. When a goal goes in, how they handle that psychology. Do they drop their heads? Are they sad? Do they feel bad? Can they bounce back? Can they recognize if a goal was, their fault? Which, by the way, it's never just the goalkeeper's fault. Or was it, a defender who did not listen, who missed the mark, who got beat? Um, and when I say it's never the goalkeeping fault, it's because the ball had to travel through 22. I'm sorry, through 21 players, not including the goalkeeper, before it got to them and it went in. So wherever the ball was lost on our team, did the strike? If the ball was lost at the attacking third, did the strikers do a good enough job trying to track it down and win possession? How about the midfielders? How about the defenders? It traveled through a lot of different people before it got to the goalkeeper. So it's never just the goalkeeper's fault. It may look that way. It may look that way because he or she mistimed the run. He or she mistimed a high ball, and fumbled it, and this and that. But where did the goal initiate? It didn't initiate right around the keeper. Somebody lost the ball. Somebody made a mistake prior to the ball getting close to the goalkeeper. So these are the things that a goalkeeper has to be able to diagnose and understand and stay tall and be confident, be able to shrug it off his or her shoulder and say, "Hey, listen, ball went in. So what? Let's go get another one. Let's go get it back. Let's go equalize. Let's go win." Okay. So there's a lot. By the way, as a goalkeeper, you got to be able to manage personalities. You got to be able to be vocal. You got to be able to talk. You got to be able to communicate with teammates, which a lot of teammates cannot understand that. Don't tell me what to do. Or they go to the sideline. Mommy, little Joy's constantly yelling at me. Little Mary's so bossy. She's always telling me what to do. Or she'll go to the coach. Or the coach, who may not understand goalkeeping that well, may turn around and say, "Hey, stop yelling at my defense." There's all kinds of situations. So it's a very, very difficult position. That's why every year, every team is looking for a goalkeeper. Goalkeepers are becoming, not extinct, but kids are just not, rushing to play goal. And the ones that they do, an average goalkeeper will always be in demand. Forget having a top level goalkeeper. An average goalkeeper will always be in demand because of the position, because, of the situation. And the other position that's always in demand is a quality, natural striker. It's very, very difficult to be able to smell the goal, as we used to say in the old days. You can teach kids to try to score goals, but somebody who's always around the ball, somebody who's always scoring goals, very, very difficult to find. That's a gift. Be able to have that instinct, it's a gift. So getting back to the weekly training, as I said, in our opinion, that will help the development of a goalkeeper. Having a program that has year-round weekly training. If you're looking for more, terrific. And by the way, a little shameless plug. If you guys go to our website, which is just the number four, keepersnj.com, just for keepersnj.com. You guys can see our weekly classes. There's a link there that says weekly training classes. I believe currently one of the days might be sold out. But you can go in there and there's a sign up. There's Mondays starting April 9th, weekly training all the way to May 28th. Our Wednesday classes start April 4th all the way to um, May 23rd. They're broken down in age groups. So, like I said, I think one of them might be sold out. I'm not sure. Um, it's in Jackson. All the venue information, the cost, everything is there. We urge you to sign up either with us or somebody else. If you'd like to see what it's all about, send us an email and come and train with us. Doesn't cost you anything. And if you like it, you can join with our classes. But once again, like I said, please understand the value and the merit of weekly goalkeeping classes. Till the next time, have a great spring season, and I'll see you in the pitch.